In the last episode, I finished the sump by adding the wire trim, finished the distribution blocks, continued on the light bar system, and started installing the Apex head unit. In this episode, I will finish the Apex head unit, finish all of the painting, finish the light bar system, mount an EB8, and build panels for the ceiling of the cabinet.
So now that our piece is finished drying, it matches pretty well, and this is what it'll look like with the controller attached. So what I need to do now is measure this out and drill 2 holes, countersink those holes, put screws in, and then once that's mounted, I'll probably take it back off, and then I'm going to take a drill bit and cut this middle part out as close as I can so this cable can run up that, and then mount it back into place. Put the cable behind this, drill a hole through there, run that cable down, and then this will be done. So what I did was I just took a saw, ordinary old school saw, and just slowly started to make a cut, and then took some sandpaper, sanded it down. Now I have a nice clean line to hide my wire in, like so it'll be hidden. And now what I'm gonna do, if I can get the wire out of here, is mount it like that, and maybe give it another painting. I don't know, did some damage to it, might paint it, might not, but now I just got to mount it to here. So now I just make sure it's where it needs to be, screw it in, so now I can mount the controller, bend the wire back, feed that wire up, never see it, it's out of place. So now I just have to take my pen and mark where that line is, like so, and then take this back out. So this may be a backfire, I don't know yet. I've taken the controller apart and I've seen what's behind this casing. And basically these 2 wires, inside of these 2 wires are 2 cables. So basically that's a total of 4 cables and 2 wires. So there's a pair in each one of those. Now, why am I holding cutters in my hand? Instead of drilling a hole through every single 2x4 this big, and I mean, I don't even think I have a bit on me that, yeah, actually that may work. But you know what? I'm not drilling that big of a hole. So if this doesn't work, oh well, but for right now, this is getting cut. Hope that wasn't a big deal, because if it was, this is no longer going to work. So I found a far better way of hiding this cord, and that's just basically stuffing it in these cracks. So just in case like this display goes bad, I don't have to like dig this out through a whole bunch of holes. I can just easily take it out, but right now I'm just stuffing it in these cracks and going from there. Okay, so without being Velcroed yet, that's how that's gonna look. And the cables come around here, follow down here, and I took this off, and what they do is they follow the same cables as the light cables. They go in, and they'll come out right here. So the next thing I have to do is just get some Velcro and Velcro this down. All right, all Velcroed into place. I just need 2 more pieces, but this is just as a rough fit. And without the front fascia on, this is what it currently looks like. Just need to put 2 more pieces of Velcro on each side, but it is perfectly flush. So when I stick the doors on, I'm just going to cut out this area, and that's all you'll see. It is a super nice day today. The temperature got up to 54 degrees. So it's a really good time to work on this. And I've already applied the Velcro, so now this thing is sturdy. And as you can see, it is quite flush. Thank you. So what I'm going to be working on today is, I know that you've seen this in prior videos, but I need to do all the paint touch-up. And I think what I'm going to be doing first is using the spray paint. And then spray painting where I want the brown to be. Like, here's a good example right here. Need to spray paint that. And I need to paint this in here and paint that in here, and then touch up that with some spray paint, and then go over it with a few layers of white. And I think that should be it for the interior. Touch up this, etc. So the next thing I'm working on is, since these were installed, I'm going to take my liquid nails and just apply it to everywhere where it's not applied. When you're done using caulk, what is your method to make sure it doesn't dry up? What I do is I just take some electrical tape and wrap it around and make sure it's airtight. And then when I'm done, I leave a lot of extra tape like this, rip it off, and do that. And then when you want to use it again, it's really easy to use. Instead of, like, you know, picking at the line. You have somewhere to grab now. And while I'm waiting for this to dry, I'm going to clean the inside of the cabinet. You can see by all this crap left over. And I'm going to give it another 2 coats of spray paint, I believe. And then I don't think we have to cut any more in here, so the cabinet may be done except for some wiring. So this is the side of a tank that I haven't shown much, and this is the other side of the tank. And this side will not be shown as much as the other side, and the reason for that is I have a table. Actually, I know what would be easier? If I just showed the video right around here. And that's the table and how it looks, so this is where the table is going to be, and you won't even see this area at all. The only thing you will see is about 5.5 inches, because the table will be right here at this line. I made another mark there, so I need to cut a piece of wood that will fit in that area. Right here are the MP10s, which I will be able to slip in and conceal, and then this is where all the wiring will be. And this side is where the apex gear goes. So I have 2 openings so I can actually access any of that cabling if I need to. And what I'm going to be doing is actually making another hole, and I might even just cut this whole thing out, not quite sure yet, so I can access all of that wiring on the inside when I need to. So now I just need to cut that piece of wood and mount it to the side. Cut and mount it into place. So the only thing I have to do is take these screws back out and countersink the wood so the screws sit flush. And here's a little tip for those of you who do not know how to countersink such a thin piece of wood. It's tip time. Yeah. Is what I do is I make sure the drill is in reverse and then reverse the hole that you need to be countersunk. But be careful not to go all the way through. And then when you have your bit back on, see, it gives it a nice countersink look. And I did go ahead and cut that section out like I was talking about. It'll just make it super easy in the future to do the wiring instead of having just 2 small holes. So right now, while I have a little bit of daylight left, I'm going to mount the EB8 in place and show you exactly why all of these holes are cut out the way they were. Now that the EB8 is mounted, you can see why that hole was cut out and how well it actually fits in here. And then the outlets from the EB8 will go into this hole, and then the Aquabus USB ports come out of that hole. So here's what I'm thinking. I'm going to fill some of the dead space on the ceiling of the cabinet. Instead of filling all of this with one piece, which is just going to be a measurement nightmare, I'm going to start filling in some of these areas with pieces. So I'll have, you know, one L-shaped piece there and one L-shaped piece here, or just one L shape and one I shape here. and I've already done some measurements. And I've transferred those measurements here, and I'm going to start cutting that out. And now with the piece in place, I can start making my measurements. Like, you know where that light bar is, I gotta cut out that light bar. Almost there. Just need to trim up a few areas, like right there. Should be good. And after a little bit of cutting and measuring and measuring and cutting and cutting and measuring, finally have two pieces. They're not screwed in or anything. Thank you. Looks pretty good. So I just got to drill them out and install them and then take them back out and paint them. All right. So now that those are drilled into place where they need to be, what I need to do next is unscrew everything and then countersink all the holes like I did with the other piece, give them both a nice coat of primer, and then I'll probably try spray painting them. And hopefully the white color is the same as the paint I used prior. So after the painting, it looks pretty good. I think this primer will make the white spray paint coat really well, and I won't need so many layers as I did with the inside of the cabinet. But right now, I'm just gonna wait for this to dry, and I have a whole bunch of spray paint over here. I have white, black, gray, brown. I'm gonna paint it white and put it on the inside, and that should be it. And this is just after the first coat of white spray paint.
In the next episode, I will finish the ceiling panels, rewire the Apex display, and power up the Apex for the first time. I hope you are enjoying the videos, and if you are, please like and subscribe if you haven't already. It's free and a great way to support the channel. Yeah!